Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you. You guys already know about Henry Kissinger. You know what he's all about. A lot of people call him a war criminal. Am I calling him a war criminal? Hey, you're going to have to look that up for yourself. But many people call him a war criminal. Well, there's this article that he wrote back in on April 3rd, guys. April 3rd. This is just a little after Ghebreyesus came out from the World Health Organization declaring the COVID-19 a pandemic. Sorry, pandemic. I want to, and you've probably read this before, or you've probably seen videos on it, but stay tuned. I've highlighted and read. I've transferred this over to my open office platform. This is a direct, I just copied and pasted from the Wall Street Journal, and all I added to it was some bold and the red lettering. Look at this, Wall Street Journal, April 3rd, 2020. Just very shortly after they declared the pandemic. And if anybody was an insider, if anybody was on this side of the curtain insider, it is this guy right here, Henry Kissinger. He was the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor in the Ford and Nixon administrations. Check out what he says here as an insider. The U.S. must protect its citizens from disease while starting the urgent work of planning for a new epic. So he already knew early on we were going to go into a new epic, a new turning point in history. And before I go on, it's important for you to understand what William Pitt the Younger said, because it's still applicable. It's still in play. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It's the creed of slaves. It's necessary, says the tyrants. It's necessary, says the slaves. The tyrants are saying it's necessary for us to protect you. And the slaves are saying, yes, we agree. It is necessary that you protect all of us sheep. You are the shepherd, we're the sheep. You tell us to follow, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. The second thing you need to understand is they never let, these tyrants never let a good crisis go to waste. They need crisis because they want you to think that you need them. If they don't have a crisis, then people go, what do we need political parasites for? Why do we need them telling us what to do? Why do we need them crafting laws and taking our tax money? We don't need them. There's no crisis on the horizon. And it all is in conjunction with the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. They create or co-opt an existing problem, wait for the fear-based reaction, and then provide you with the pre-planned solution that they had waiting in the wings the whole time. That's what they want. They operate and glide off of the thermals of your fear. That's what puts them above the clouds. That's what puts them above us being fearful. Us begging for a ruler, begging for a tyrant to please make us safe. But if you give up a little essential liberty, like Benjamin Franklin said, for a little politically promised security, because this is what they're saying. His first sentence, the U.S. must protect its citizens from disease while starting the urgent work of planning for a new epic. There's your plan. There's the pre-planned solution, the new epic. The surreal atmosphere of COVID-19 pandemic calls to mind how I felt as a young man in the 84th Infantry Division during the Battle of the Bulge. Now, as in late 1944, there's a sense of inchoate danger, like a fundamental danger, aimed at not any particular person, but striking randomly with devastation. But there is an important difference between that faraway time and ours. American endurance was then fortified by an ultimate national purpose. Now, in a divided country, I wonder why we're divided. Because of the current government and the governments of the last couple of decades, and because of the corporate media from the last couple of decades, working their poison in us to distract us, deceive us, and divide us. That's why we're conquered. That's why we're divided. Now, in a divided country, efficient and far-sighted government is necessary. Keep that in mind. Government is necessary. Remember, the euphemism for government is slavery. Enslavement is necessary, is what he's saying. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. And some would say Henry Kissinger is a tyrant. Am I saying that? Oh, no, I'm not saying that, YouTube. But some do say that. Some do call people like Kissinger a war criminal, a Zionist war criminal. Efficient and farsighted government is necessary to what? To overcome obstacles unprecedented in magnitude and global in scope. You need us to protect you. Sustaining the public trust is crucial to social solidarity, to the relation of societies with each other, and to international peace and stability. Nations cohere and flourish on the belief. I'm glad he said that, because that's all government is. That's the only way government can work, guys. There is no such thing as a man or a woman who has a higher claim over your life and property than you, and yet that's exactly what government is. Government claims the right, the moral right to rule you, and claims that you have the moral obligation to obey their rulership or be, in their eyes, rightly punished. And that doesn't exist. That's fiction. That's a fable. But people believe it. That's why I call it the church of government. And you've got to check into the cult of personality and check yourself into the cement block of cognitive dissonance to actually buy this crap. Nations cohere and flourish on the belief that their institutions, let's just call it what it is, their governments can foresee calamity, arrest its impact, and restore stability. Look how great and benevolent government is. Look how beneficial government is for the people. They're here to provide you safety and security and stability. That's what he's pushing here. When the COVID-19 pandemic is over, check this out. Many countries' institutions will be perceived as having failed. Whether this judgment is objectively fair is irrelevant. The reality is the world will never be the same after the coronavirus. It's the global reset. Ain't nothing going back to normal. If you look at my last video on my vlog channel, that's what Ghebreyesus says. You ain't going to go back to the old normal. Ain't going to happen. Nope, we ain't going to let it happen. We're going to propagate and continue this crisis to get you to believe that you still need us. Oh, you need us in a big bad way now because we got a big bad invisible virus that we need to be hammering down. You can't do it alone. We got to do it. The reality is, Kissinger says, the world will never be the same after the coronavirus. This is our new normal that they want to shoehorn us into. To argue now about the past only makes it harder to do what has to be done. Oh yeah, what has to be done? Well, we're going to deal with that in a second. The coronavirus has struck with unprecedented scale and ferocity. Its spread is exponential. U.S. cases are doubling every 5th day. Remember, this is on April 3rd, guys. This is early on. They've already got this all planned out. The scheme has already been written out. Why do we call it the plandemic? Well, we don't. People like Federal Reserve Chairman or Federal Reserve President of the St. Louis Federal Reserve, James Bullard, said we do. And I'll show you that in a second. You've already seen it, but it's good. Reminders are good, guys. At this writing, there is no cure. Medical supplies are insufficient to cope with the widening waves of cases. Intensive care units are on the verge and beyond of being overwhelmed. Oh, really? Explain all those YouTube videos out there that kind of testify to the contrary. Testing is inadequate to the task of identifying the extent of infection, much less reversing its spread. A successful vaccine could be 12 or 18 months away. Oh no, what will we do? The U.S. administration has done a solid job in avoiding immediate catastrophe. Well, tell CNBC that and MSLSD and CNN because they're not thinking that's true. Have a conversation with them. That's part of the dog and pony show. You know Kissinger's on the same side as the corporate media. You know Kissinger's on the same side as the Zionists because he says he is a Zionist. It's a coordinated effort against us, the little people, the peasants, the serfs. The ultimate test will be whether the virus's spread can be arrested and then reversed in a manner and at a scale that maintains public confidence in Americans' ability to, that's a laugh, govern themselves. They don't want Americans governing themselves. They've shown that. They want to govern you. What does government mean? It comes from two Latin words, governo and mentis, to control the mind. Mind control. The crisis effort never let a good crisis go to waste. However, the crisis effort, however vast and necessary, necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms, must not crowd out the urgent task of launching a parallel enterprise for the what? The transition to the post-coronavirus order. The transition to the post-coronavirus order. Let's take a look at a real quick example of the transition to the post-coronavirus order, shall we? This right here comes from, to show you, BTCA, which is the Better Than Cash Society, put on by the Sustainable Development Goals partnership platform of the United Nations. Look right here. This is from sustainabledevelopment.un.org. This is from the United Nations, not making this up. This is their website. Look what they say. What is their goal? What is the Better Than Cash Society's goal? Actually, it's called the Better Than Cash Alliance. BTC is a new global alliance that brings together private sector companies, governments, and developmental organizations, all dedicated to what? Promoting the transition away from cash to electronic payments. Transition away from cash to electronic payments. The transition for the post-coronavirus order, written in the Wall Street Journal by Henry Kissinger on April 3rd, 2020. Back to this BTCA, Better Than Cash Society. Who funds the BTCA? I wonder, probably somebody we've never heard of before, right? BTCA is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And by people like MasterCard and Visa. Very interesting. Kissinger continues. Leaders are dealing with the crisis. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Oh, they won't. Don't worry. On a largely national basis, but the virus's society-dissolving effects do not recognize borders. Was it the virus's society-dissolving effects that has caused this national economic downturn, this national and global catastrophe? Was it the virus, an invisible virus, that did that? Or was it, as James Bullard says, just as a reminder, this is a planned, organized, partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter, says Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis President James Bullard. This is a planned, organized, partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter. So that Federal Reserve President is basically saying, well, it's not exactly the virus that's society dissolving. It's kind of the Federal Reserve. It's kind of our planned, organized, partial shutdown. But thanks for giving the virus credit, because that lays cover for us so we can continue our criminal activities under the guise of, oh, it's the coronavirus. Don't bother. Don't pay any attention to us. It's not us. It's the virus. We're very visible and the virus is very invisible. Go attack the virus. That's the crisis we need to handle and take care of. Well, the assault on human health. Yeah, there's an assault on human health, all right. And it's coming. Oh, it's coming. It's called the final solution, according to Bill Gates. Hopefully will be temporary. He doesn't hope that. The political and economic upheaval it has unleashed could last for generations. Guess what? The virus didn't do that either. And he's telling you it's going to last for generations. That's what they want. They want this crisis to go on and on and on so they can continue bleeding the tax cattle. I'm sorry. Did I say tax cattle? I meant taxpayers. No country, not even the U.S., can, in a purely national effort, overcome the virus. It ain't going to be possible. Not going to be possible. You really, really need us for the long haul. Addressing the necessities, how many times has he said necessary or necessities? Of the moment must ultimately be coupled with a global collaborative vision and program. A global collaborative vision and program. Let's see, like what? Like what would you be talking about? Global collaborative vision and program. Oh, like back to the Better Than Cash Society? Another transaction? We promote the transition from cash to digital payments in a way that improves lives and expands responsible digital financial services. We conduct research, share the experiences of our members, and development tools to help the transition to digital payments. Yep, there's definitely a transition. There's transition in this new epic. And they want to bring it about, for total control. Total control of you and me. The question is, are we going to let this happen? If we cannot do both in tandem, we will face the worst of each. And then he says, drawing lessons from the development of the Marshall Plan and the Manhattan Project, look that up. The U.S. is obliged to undertake a major effort in 3 domains. First, shore up global resilience to the infectious disease. Oh, I'm sure you will. Bring on that vaccine. roll up your sleeves, in the words of Alan Dershowitz, take them by force to a medical facility and plunge a needle into their arm. This is more than about a global reset. This is a global reset, but it's more than just being about a global reset. It's a political reset. It's a food reset. It's a human reset. They're trying to reset this whole thing. Oh, that's the stuff of conspiracy theories? Well, let me just show you this right here. This video right here comes from the World Economic Forum. It's got 272,000 views. It was uploaded on June 3rd, 2020 from the World Economic Forum. They have 507,000 subscribers. You want to know about the global reset? You want to know they intend to initiate the global reset? Check this out. Again, this isn't my video. This is from the World Economic Forum. Our world has changed. Look at that. Not my world. I don't want... Our challenges are greater. It's like they're throwing it in our faces what they're foisting on us. You know they control the weather. They say they control the weather. They say they control public policies. They admit that they create and unleash diseases on humanity. Our fragility is exposed. Our systems need a reset. He's going to press the reset button. This is what the globalists want to do. There we go. This is going to make it all better. Trust us. We need to reset everything. This is the World Economic Forum, guys. Everyone has a role to play. Oh, really? What if I don't want to play a role? You have a role. You have a role, says the Kissingers of the world. The globalists who want a global reset, a food reset, a people reset, a humanity reset, a financial institution reset, the currency reset, the transition to a cashless society. Notice the only words in this whole video were what you just saw there. Black Lives Matter. The only words, 3 words. Black Lives Matter. I don't know why they put babies in there. They hate babies. NASA. $61 million a day. Tax cattle pay NASA $61 million. Not a year. A day. A day. The Great Reset. Join us. Join us. The Great Reset. World Economic Forum. Let's see. World Economic Forum. Where have I heard that? Oh, that's right. They attended with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and with the Johns Hopkins University Event 201, the World Economic Forum. Well, of course. Of course they did. Check this out. This is the reset. Reset the table, meeting the moment to transform the U.S. food system. This is from the Rockefeller Foundation. See that up there? Rockefeller Foundation wants to reset the table. Like I said, global reset, currency reset, financial systems reset, food reset, humanity reset. I just want to finish out this article from Henry Kissinger. It's just it should piss us all off. We should rise. They're actually showing us our hand. They're literally sitting at the table playing poker with us, and they're showing us their hand. Look, here it is. Look what I got. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. I'm showing you all my cards, dangling it out for everybody to see, putting it on social media. And then people look at you like you're a conspiracy theorist when they're the ones that are saying, yeah, we're going to foist Agenda 2030 on you. It used to be called Agenda 21. Now it's Agenda 2030. Limiting the world's population to 500 million in perfect balance with nature. Saying that they're going to control the weather by 2025. It's their documents, but you're the crazy one because you're just saying what their documents say. You're the one. You're the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist that needs to be put in a padded cell with a straitjacket on. Call the men in white coats. They've come to take me away. They've come to take me away. Triumphs of medical science like the polio vaccine. Oh, taking credit for that. And the eradication of smallpox, taking credit for that. You know the history behind that. I don't have to go into it. Or the emerging statistical technical marvel of medical diagnosis through artificial intelligence. Oh yeah, it's learning you. It's learning you right now. Every day, every moment of every day. 86,400 seconds a day. It's on you. It knows you. It knows what your habits are, what you spend stuff on, what kind of money you save. And then they want to know you even more by taking away your cash and making you go all digital, bringing in the social credit scores, saying you can't come and shop here unless you have a mask on. Control, control, control. Forget about freedom. They're going in the opposite direction of freedom. Have lulled us into dangerous complacency. We need to develop new techniques and technologies for infection control and commensurate vaccines across large populations. Cities and states and regions, just say government, mind control, must constantly prepare to protect their people from pandemics through stockpile and cooperative planning and exploration of frontiers of space. Second, strive to heal the wounds of the world economy. Well, how are we going to do that? Oh, that's right, with the one world, new world order reserve currency. By phasing out cash, all cash, not just the American dollar, but cash throughout the world. They're going to go to a one world currency, just like they predicted back in The Economist magazine. Global leaders have learned important lessons from the 2008 financial crisis. Well, I bet you did. You caused it. Of course you learned something from it. You knew it was going to happen. And you knew what the reaction, the fear-based reaction of the people would be, and then you provided a solution back then. Think about it, that 2008 financial crisis, the TARP bailout plan was over only $700 billion. They spend that in 2 days now. Every 2 or 3 days. No, I think it's every 2 days. They spend $700 billion in the federal open market operations where they use their fiat funny money to buy real assets. That's what this is, the global reset. This is a complete takeover of the U.S. economy, and not just the U.S. economy, the economies throughout the world. And who suffers? Who's going to be erased? The middle class. Everybody else goes into poverty. The top 1% gets even higher, like the Bezos of the world. How much did he increase in wealth since March 22nd? $48 million. How much did Bill Gates increase since March 22nd? $16 billion. Did I say million? Sorry, $48 billion for Jeff Bezos. $16 billion increase for the Bill Gates of the world. $25 billion increase for Elon Musk. Billions and billions for the Warren Buffetts of the world and all those other guys. The current economic crisis is more complex. Well, of course it is. Only we can understand it. Only we can get you out of it. The contraction released by the coronavirus is in its speed and global scale unlike anything ever known in history. Let's just wipe away the euphemisms, okay? The contraction unleashed by the Federal Reserve is in its speed and global scale unlike anything ever known in history. That's more correct. That's more accurate. That's right on the money. And necessary public health measures, necessary again, such as social distancing and closing schools and businesses, are contributing to the economic pain. Of course they are. That's the intention. We need you to feel economic pain so you can look to the world leaders and beg, please, please save us. Give us a one world currency. Just give us food. We'll comply. We'll be good little sheep. Lock us in, quarantine us, house arrest, do whatever you got to do. Make us wear masks. Make us take the vaccine. Just please keep us safe. That's what they want to do. They want to push you down and grind you. But we need the spirit of Patrick Henry. Give me liberty or give me death. I'm not scared of death. I'd rather die than live on my knees. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Where is that spirit? Where is it? Where is it? Programs should also seek to ameliorate the effects of impending chaos on the world's most vulnerable populations. Yeah, like you care, like Henry Kissinger cares about the most vulnerable populations. He cares about exploiting them. He doesn't care about making them healthy. Healthy people don't make big pharma and the biotechs and government's money, guys. Sick people do. People whose backs are against the wall. Oh my God, I need big pharma. I need the biotechs. I need government. I need to cross my T's and dot my I's or I'm going to be left out in the cold. The time for fear is over. You need to stop being engulfed and controlled by fear. The only way they can control you is if you fear something. And then once they find out that you fear something, they exploit that fear and then they manipulate your minds and then they deceive you and then they've got you on the chain. And that chain will never loosen up. It keeps on tightening. Third, safeguard the principles of the liberal world order. Safeguard the principles of the liberal world order. The founding legend of modern government is a walled city protected by powerful rulers. Listen, look at this. The founding legend of modern government is slavery, modern slavery, is a walled city protected by powerful rulers, sometimes despotic, other times benevolent, yet always, even in the despotism, strong enough to protect the people from an external enemy. Even the despots are protecting people. How does that work? How many did Stalin kill? How many did Mussolini kill? How many did Mao Zedong kill? How many did Hitler kill? Despotic governments don't protect their people from external enemies. They become the very enemies that they promised the people that they would defend themselves against. Enlightenment thinkers reframe this concept, arguing that the purpose of the legitimate state, there is no such thing as a legitimate state. It's like saying legitimate slavery. The state is another euphemism for government. Government's a euphemism for mind control, which is a euphemism for slavery. Legitimate slavery, there's no such thing as legitimate slavery. They actually want you to believe in fiction, guys. They want you to believe in fiction. Believe this magic pixie dust. Believe in the legislative process. No, we mere mortals can make laws. No, you can't. You can create opinions. You can write them in fancy words on fancy pieces of paper, but that's all they are, is the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. That's all they are. That's all a man-made law is. It's not a law at all. It's an opinion backed by force. That's it. Gravity's a law. You need oxygen to breathe is a law. Try to live without oxygen. See what happens. Fire is hot is a law. Ice is cold is a law. Enlightenment thinkers reframe this concept, arguing that the purpose of the legitimate state, that's just such a joke, is to provide for the fundamental needs of the people. Security, order, economic well-being, and justice. That's BS, man. That's BS. How about they provide us with terror, disorder, poverty, and injustice? How about that? That's everything that they say, the opposite, the exact opposite is always true. Like the Affordable Care Act, it was extremely unaffordable. The Patriot Act, it was extremely unpatriotic. Individuals cannot secure these things on their own. BS. In other words, they're saying you need us. You can't get security, order, economic well-being, and justice on your own. Yeah, you can. You can. The pandemic has prompted an anachronism, a revival of the walled city in an age when prosperity depends on global trade and movement of people. By the way, you ain't going to be moving anywhere, according to Bill Gates, unless you have your vaccination certification. And then they're going to change that to the microchip. Yep, scan your right hand, scan your forehead, and we'll let you on this plane or this departing ship, or we'll let you across that border into this other country, or we'll let you go from state to state. Oh, you can't travel on the freeway or the interstate without that chip. We got these scanners set up, and if you don't scan, hey, we're sending a cop after you, and you're getting off our freeway. If you don't pass through these doors with that chip, a buzzer's going to go off and lock that door, and you can't come in and do any grocery shopping. This is where it's heading, guys. Oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. They wouldn't make us do that. The world's democracies need to defend and sustain their Enlightenment values. A global retreat from the balancing power and legitimacy will cause the social contract to disintegrate both domestically and internationally. Yet this millennial issue of legitimacy and power cannot be settled. It can never, there's legitimacy and power in relation to the government can't be settled because it doesn't exist. Simultaneously with the effort to overcome the COVID-19 plague, restraint is necessary on all sides in both domestic politics and international diplomacy. Priorities must be established. And we know what those priorities are. We know what the priorities are. The global reset is the priority. The food reset is the priority. They're going to reset your table. The cashless society is the priority. That's their global priority. I'm just going to read these last two sentences. The historic challenge for leaders is to manage the crisis while building the future. They got to manage the crisis, because if there is no crisis, then the people can't clamor for a leader. Necessity is the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It's the creed of slaves. And of course, they're going to come with good intentions. What did Daniel Webster say? Good intentions will always be pleaded for every assumption of authority. It's hardly too strong to say that the Constitution was made the guards of the people against the dangers of good intentions. There are men in all ages who mean to govern or control well, but they mean to govern or control. They promise to be good masters, but they mean to be your masters. People like Kissinger, people like Trump, people like Biden, people like the Rothschilds, all the Zionists, people like Wall Street, they mean to be your masters. They promise to be good masters, of course, or you would never vote for them. That's what the conventions are all about. That's what the DNC convention is all about. That's what those stupid lofty speeches are all about, to try to get you convinced that water is not wet, that fire is not hot, that if you fell from a bridge, you're not going to be harmed. They're trying to get you to believe the opposite of reality, that politicians actually care about you, and they're going to offer you security and prosperity. And all they're there to do is take your security and take your prosperity for themselves and shove it deep into their pockets. See, miracles happen in Washington, D.C. on an ice-cold, sub-zero day. Did you know that? Because when a politician's hands are in their pocket, they can't be simultaneously in your pocket. Although that's not true either, because while their hands are in their pocket, they have their hands deep in your pocket. $174,000 for the base congressman, guys. That's $83.65 an hour that they make. And what do? They do two things. They make these laws that take away more of your freedom and take away more of your prosperity. Every single law does that. Every law. But it always comes packaged as this. Hey, this is going to be good for you. Hey, this is going to give you security. Hey, this is going to make you prosperous. All you have to do is relinquish a little bit of your freedom, your essential liberty. If you give me a little essential liberty, I will give you security. And if you still believe that, guys, if you still believe that politicians are there for your good, if you still believe that Joe Biden is going to be this great president that's going to champion the cause of freedom for you, if you think that Donald Trump is there to do you harm and not hand your prosperity over to the Zionist International Banking Cartel like he has done time and time again since he's entered that office, if you think that politicians are there for your good, I don't even know what to say. You're beyond comatose, beyond brain dead, with probably no hope of recovery at this point, because we've got the world's information at our fingertips. What they want is a global reset. They want to reset the table, and they want to reset your world. The World Economic Forum wants to do that. The Rockefeller Foundation wants to do that. The Zionist International Banking Cartel wants to do that. It's called the Great Reset. I didn't say it. The World Economic Forum said it. Right here on their YouTube channel. It's called the Great Reset. So I wanted to let you guys know that my channels are in jeopardy of just completely falling off the face of the earth, guys. So take this time while you still can, please, and subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. I'll put that up on the screen right now. Free resources all over the place on my website. All you got to do is, click on anything you want. You can get the national debt clock, the spot silver and gold price, Venture Sky, tons of homeschooling materials. Everything's free. Everything's free. And when I upload a video to BitChute or whatever, if I lose my YouTube channels, I will send you a personal email letting you know that video has been launched. It's the only way I know to get direct contact between you, my audience, and me, and without a third-party platform, without Alphabet Inc. being involved, without Twitter, Jack Dorsey being involved, without Zuckerberg being involved. This is our direct. So just first name, email, subscribe right here. And I hate spam. My list doesn't ever go anywhere beyond me. It will never be sold or anything like that. I safeguard your security because I would want my security safeguarded. So subscribe to my private email list through my website. Go to my BitChute channel. Subscribe over there, especially D-Live. I'm going to be D-Living every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not going to do weekends anymore. It's just too much. I want to spend time with my family at night on the weekend. I may end up going down to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on weeknights, but so far right now it's going to be Monday through Friday. And so subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give them a thumbs up, share them with everybody you know, and I'll see you in the next heavily censored, shadow ban, and 100% demonetized video. Guys, we already know that they want to decimate the dollar, destroy the economy, bring us into a cashless society, and eventually make it difficult for us to even get food. That's why I constantly promote My Patriot Supply. Every chance I get, I turn my fiat currency notes into long-term storable food. This stuff is awesome. It's got a 25-year shelf life. And one thing we're all going to need is storable food. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. With my link in the description, you get $100 off of every order instantly. It'd be a good idea to order it while you can, because I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be able to ship this out. My link for your $100 off discount is in the description below.